This tutorial, especially for glasses wearers out there. Taken into consideration some certain techniques that I think really help your eyes and your whole face really shine, even though you've got, you know, a pair of glasses on. Beauty, I think something we see as attractive are faces that are symmetrical. You know, one side looks the same as the other side. When you put on glasses, you're really adding one more element of symmetry to your face, which is a really good thing, you know, because your glasses are going to be perfect one side to the other, and so you put those on and you're creating yet another sense of balance from left to right on your face. So if you can use some other elements like really keeping your under eyes bright, keeping a nice defined yet lifted eye, and I think also balancing out the top of your face with the bottom of your face and a little bit of color on the lip, I think it can all come together to create, you know, create harmony really on your face. So even though I have been dealing with pink eye, you know, over the course of the past week, it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it forced me to really evaluate how I did my makeup with glasses, what I could do differently to enhance my features, and just how to get the best look possible. So I hope this is helpful to you. I've already applied my moisturizer, my primer, and my foundation all over my face. One thing that I am going to change up in terms of my under eye concealer, I really want this area right in here, which can kind of get shadowed by the rims of your glasses. I really want this to appear a lot more bright. So I'm going to go to a concealer palette that I like. This one's from Coastal Scents and it's called the Eclipse palette. So I'm just going to go to this shade here, which is, you know, kind of light for me. And I'm going to start from, you know, this very innermost corner and just really start dotting the product right here and sweeping it outward, you know, right under my eye. And I realize it does look a little crazy now, but once we do some blending with this, it takes it down a notch, but we keep it really bright in this area. You want to get all the way up to your lower lash line when you're doing this, because you can have discoloration all the way to that point. And as you can see, for an even more highlighted effect, you can continue it, you know, right up your cheekbone here, and it'll all look a little bit lifted that way. I'm just using a regular old foundation brush, really making sure that this is highlighted and brightened. Next, I'm going to set that with a really light matte powder, and I have this kit from IT Cosmetics. It's called My Sculpted Face. You could also use, you know, just some kind of light translucent type powder. Just, we want to really lock this in for staying power. So I'm going to go in here to this matte color and really just dust that all over this area. Then I'm just going to dust lightly all over my face with something that's more, you know, right even in terms of my whole skin tone. I'm using my NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat powder, and just using this going all over my face. You can kind of overlap those areas. They'll still, the brightness there will still shine through, but this is just in an effort to set everything. Next, I'm going to add a little extra definition to the face. I think there's just something that looks really nice about, you know, the fact that you've got your glasses going on here, but then your cheekbones and everything else looks extra sculpted. It just makes the face look so much more finished and pulled together. You can use bronzer for this step, or I'm going to just go back to my contouring palette. Finding that powder that is, you know, a couple shades darker than my skin tone. I kind of go between two different matte colors. Just make sure they're matte. Kind of go back from your ear here and pull forward. And then to make sure it's buffed out, I kind of go back in circular motions and make sure we got it. Also under your jaw, this can be a great area to contour as well, just kind of right around the hairline. So we can see right through, and we've got that brightness still coming through. We've got our cheekbones kind of standing out. And the last sort of face step that I think is important here is some blush. And one that I love is my Milani Baked Blush in Coralina. So basically, we don't want the look of any redness or blotchiness around the nose, so keeping it kind of on the outer part of the face, going sort of on top of the cheekbone, and working it down. So we got our glasses on, and we can see, you know, our face still has structure and dimension, but the cheeks still have a little brightness. We're just not taking it in too far so as to take away the lightness that we have going on under our eye area. Something I've noticed is that I feel like my glasses practically like just underline my eyebrows. I feel like the brows are even more, I guess, evident. They create this whole framework for my face, even more so than when I don't have my glasses. I just feel like here, you know, they're really coming up and being emphasized. So even before I go in and do my eye makeup, I am just going in with this, it's a new product I'm trying. It's from NYX and it's called the push-up bra for your eyebrows. I'm just filling in, you know, a few areas, just kind of evening out the brow as a whole, just making sure it's neat, even with the other side. And then you can use, you know, a gel to just kind of keep them in place. So this eye look is pretty easy. It's just all about kind of definition, not doing too much, and keeping the brightness in the right areas. So I'm going to be using one of my all-time favorite drugstore quads, actually. This is from Maybelline, and it's the Stylish Smokes Quad in Natural Smokes. I'm going to be using this matte shade for my lid. It's this creamy color right here that says Brow Bone, and basically we want that all over the lid. I have applied a primer. I take it kind of right around the inner corner as well and just brighten up that whole area. I'm also going to use some of that shade to go right up under the eyebrow as well. Again, where eyebrow is kind of a spotlighted zone. Same brush, I'm going to go into this taupe shade, kind of a medium grayish taupe, and just apply a little bit of that on the outer part of the lid. I've also got some of that shade on a crease brush here, just taking that back and forth, just basic motions right through our natural crease of our eye. Next, just grab any sort of fine kind of pencil-like brush, just something that gives you a lot of control with the tip of it, because we want to create kind of that lifted outer V while not covering up the light part that's all over our lid. So sometimes really fluffy brushes can be harder to control the product. So here we're going to keep it nice and light on the lid, but just work out kind of a lifted look on the outer corner. For some reason, I've noticed as I've worn my glasses and I can see, I feel like that lifted nature of the shadow really does come through. It keeps the eyes looking kind of up, and I mean, even if maybe your glasses don't follow that sort of a shape, I think you still need that lift to your eye. So I'm using this shade that says outer corner here. It's a matte brown. Again, you don't have to have this exact palette, but I mean, just these basic colors. I wanted to keep this something that could be basic and everyday, but as you can see, I'm working right off the very outer corner of my eye here, and just pulling up as if I would continue a line all the way to my eyebrow. And so just work in that zone. Take it into the crease a little bit. And for a little extra blending, I mean, just take your fluffy brush once again right over that, and you can totally have control over how much you buff that out. Then I'm going to do a little bit of lower liner, but we're going to keep this, again, really fine line, really close to the eye. So I'm going to go to that dark shade with a liner brush, and this is going to give me, an angled liner brush is going to give me a nice fine line, and I'm just getting right in between the eyelashes. I'm not in the waterline. It's practically going to be undetectable to someone who's looking at you, but that is going to give, you know, some more definition. For upper liner, this could totally be a liquid. This could be gel. I'm happening to use pencil here. This is my Maybelline Master Drama liner. I'm keeping it really close to the lashes so I don't cover up, you know, the lightness that we've got going on our lids. Next, I'm just going to curl the lashes. And normally, I mean, I love the impact of a big false lash, you know, but I feel like even if I really bulk up my lashes quite a bit under the glasses, I don't feel like they have as much impact as just, you know, a little bit of upturned shadow does. For some reason, they just don't come through, you know, the same. It doesn't translate on the other side of the glasses. I go with like a coat of mascara here on my upper lashes. I might just do just barely a coat on the bottom. For the lips, I think you can really do whatever you want here. I think light lips are great if that's what you enjoy, but I also feel like because the glasses and your frames are making such a statement up here, I've enjoyed the way it looks on me to just balance it out a little bit with some nice color on the lips. I'm going to give my lips kind of a reddish coral color. I'm using a shade called Blushing Brunette from Maybelline Color Sensational. I'm going to amp up the red with a great liner here from NYX. It's the Retractable Lip Liner in red. Add a little bit of definition there. This is going to be a real sheer addition to the coral, but I'm using Coral Reef from Revlon. Super Lustrous lip gloss and just do a little bit of that here in the center of the lower lip. So this is definitely a look that could work without glasses, but with glasses on, I mean, there are some particular benefits here. I mean, what we did with the concealer, I mean, we can see that there is, you know, glasses create shadows. The rims are going to do that a little bit here on your cheeks, but if you've got an extra bright area there under your eye, I think that does help just make the eyes stand out a little bit more. You can see the lightness that's on our lids, the lightness spotlighting the brows right here, I think helps a lot. I also just like the look, and I think it creates a nice finished look when your face is contoured, you know, you've got your cheekbones standing out. It can be nice to have a bright lip paired with the glasses, kind of balances out the face from north to south instead of just thinking about what's under the glasses. So I hope these tips are useful to you. The whole experience did force me to really think about how to make my makeup look its best under glasses. I mean, I've been wearing these on air quite a bit too for the news, so think about a lot of different strategies on how to keep your face looking its best even when you've got a set of frames on.